So today we're going to be going over a handful of men's scents that you can buy for around $100 or less. There are a lot of great scents out there for sub $100. Actually, a lot of these fall below that by a good amount. There's quite a few that are hovering around $50, $60 in here, some even a bit less than that. You just have to know where to look and what to look for. You can get some great quality, great performing scents for that price range. You know, the retail prices on these are increasing year over year. It's getting more and more expensive, but there are still a lot of great options out there if you are on more of a budget. And this goes without saying, but retail prices are not going to be getting you these for $100 or less. You got to shop on discounters. I recommend doing that anyway, all the time, whenever you can. So these prices are reflected based off of the discounter prices. So make sure you're shopping there, okay, not at retail. I think we should get things kicked off with a scent from Givenchy. This one is Gentleman Eau de Parfum Boisée. So this one here has sandalwood, getting a little bit of that iris in here, has some other woods going on, a bit of vanilla and some pepper, all that stuff. This stuff smells great. It has a nice smooth creamy nature about it with a little bit of a fresh balance, but nothing too crazy. It's not as fresh as like Gentleman Cologne or Eau de Toilette 2017 or anything like that. I find this one to be a nice balance. So, you know, it's kind of right there in the middle. Not as sweet as the EDP or, you know, the new EDP Reserve Privé. Not as fresh as some of those others. So I think this line does do a good job of branching out and having a lot of options available to you depending on what you're after. This one's going to have a lot of versatility behind it. It's also very mass pleasing as well, super easy to pull off, and one of the more affordable flankers. I've seen this one as low as like $65 to $70 before. It's usually floating somewhere around in that range. Testers do come with a cap, and so you can save a bit of money by going with the tester. All in all, if you're looking for something easy to wear that's sub $100, that has decent performance and just a lot of versatility to it, check this one out. Next up, we have Mercedes-Benz Club Black coming in at around $55 or so. $55, somewhere around in there. A bit less, a bit more, depending on where you're shopping, what the current discounts and deals are going for, but somewhere in that range. And this one here is focused on the vanilla pretty much exclusively. Some benzoin to go along with it and a little bit of ambroxan, but it's basically vanilla from start to finish. And so this is something where, you know, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It's not a freshie. It's not something that you might be used to smelling. It's of the sweeter variety, but at the same time, it doesn't smell like a lot of the new sweet scents being released. The bubblegummy, tonka bean kind of chestnut focused sweet fragrances, you know, your Strong With Yous and Invictus, Victories, and things like that. You know, it's not in that category. And so it does kind of stand out in its own way as well. And so because of that, you could consider this one to be a tiny bit challenging, although it just depends on your definition of that word. If you're someone who likes this type of thing, it's not hard to pull off at all. However, you do have to make sure that this is something in your wheelhouse, a sweet vanilla forward scent, because it's not for everybody. That being said, you would be hard pressed to find another scent out there that can compete with this one when we're talking vanilla focused in this price range. They really just don't exist. And so if you want something that's going to be an affordable, wearable, vanilla focused scent for men, you really have to check this one out. Next up, we have the original Valentino Uomo. This stuff is great and it's easily slept on. It has hazelnut, chocolate, leather, and coffee in here. So definitely a gourmand style scent. Sweet, edible, and something that, again, you just don't hear a ton about because things like Uomo Intense and some of the new Born in Romas are just kind of taking up that spotlight. Born in Romas are taking up that spotlight because they're new, and so people are talking about them because of that. Uomo Intense has been popular and hyped up for years now, and that really hasn't changed a whole lot. It's died off a little bit, but it's still one that's talked about frequently. You just don't hear about this one as much. And because of that, it took me a while to pick up a bottle of this one. I don't know why, but I just kept putting it off, and it's one of those deals where I wish I would have gotten it sooner because it's really enjoyable. It doesn't have the iris going on like Uomo Intense, so that's one of the key differences here. With that being said, the hazelnut, chocolate, leather, coffee, all of that stuff gives it a very delicious, addicting, semi-sweet, semi-fresh kind of smell, which smells great. The leather in here does a good job of providing some balance and giving it a little bit more of a masculine edge and undertone. This is also one of the more affordable Valentino Uomos. It's the one that's been out the longest, and so it's usually falling in the $70 to $80 price range for 100 milliliters. To put that into perspective, Uomo Intense is up over 100, sometimes 120 bucks. So, yeah, pretty big price difference. Also, really quick, did you know you have only 1 day left to get entered to win a bundle of 10 fragrances or $500 in cash? If you hit the first link down below, you can find out how to sign up and get entered there. Also, you could see what else is included in that bundle. So to list off a few, Dior Homme Parfum, Stronger With You Absolutely, Sauvage Elixir, The One Royal Night, and so on are in that bundle. There's going to be 2 drawings, so there's 2 chances to win. The first drawing is going to be for that bundle. The second will be for the $500 cash prize. You have less than a day left to get entered, so if that's something you've been interested in, make sure you go ahead and sign up now before it's too late. We'll be choosing a winner the night that it ends, and then we'll be reaching out to them probably that night or the following day via email, and then there will be a link at the top of that page where you can go and see the winning ticket numbers and then also see the names of the winners there. Up next, we have Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum. So every now and then, this one will pop up for right under $100. It's usually close, kind of on the edge, so you just have to know kind of what to look for, and you have to be available to buy this one when it does pop up in stock, because a lot of times it does sell through relatively quickly just because it's not often found for below retail. And so that price can be anywhere from like $82 to $90, maybe $95. There's a bit of a spread depending on where you're purchasing, but it's not really consistently in stock below retail, so you just have to be on the lookout for it. I've got a mailing list and texting list you can sign up to, for example, where anytime something like a new release comes into stock below retail or something discontinued, hard to find, shows up, I do notify about it. You can jump on that down below. This is one of my favorite flankers in the line. It's right there behind Wanted by Night. I love this stuff. Bourbon, vanilla, ginger, and woody notes. This stuff smells great. And, for me, I bought it at retail just because I buy all of the new releases when they first come out. I wouldn't be hesitant to buy it at retail again if I absolutely had to. That being said, I always think it is worth waiting around and getting it for below when you can. So, maybe try to do that. But what I'm saying is this one is worth it at retail, so it's really worth it when you can get it below that. Sub $100, this is a great pickup. And it's also perfect for this time of year, wintertime. This stuff smells amazing. Jumping back over to more of a spring and summer oriented scent, coming in at around like $35 to maybe $45, somewhere around in there. Again, a bit of a spread. These prices change so often. I like to give myself some leeway because if I'm off by a couple dollars, then, it's just one of those things that... This next one is more of a spring and summer style scent here, coming in at around, $40 or so, somewhere around in there, maybe $42, $45, maybe even a bit less. John Varvatos XX Artisan, or, yeah, I got it right. I always get it mixed up. Is it XX Artisan or Artisan XX? But it is XX Artisan. This stuff smells fantastic. Has bitter orange, a lot of vetiver in here. Get some other fresher notes as well, some aromatics, some lavender. But what I love is the vetiver focus. And pretty much at this point, most of the major designer brands have their kind of standalone vetiver scent out there. And this is John Varvatos' vetiver scent. So it's a soapy, clean style vetiver, primarily with some of that bitter orange, which goes all the way back to the very original John Varvatos Artisan. And a similar bottle like this, only it has that kind of, traditional wicker color to it rather than this kind of gray metallic flake look to it. Maybe there is no flake, but it does have a really sharp look, very modern, very classy, very sleek. This bottle presentation, it looks great. And I think also the presentation, the color of this matches the scent very well. Modern, fresh, clean, sophisticated, classy. That's what this one is all about in a nutshell. Great scent. Again, it's clean, easy to wear, very easygoing and likable for so many people. You really can't go wrong with something like this. And at this price point, well under 50 bucks, it's worth grabbing. Next up, we have Rochas Man Intense. It is a 2023 release. They brought it back. You guys might remember, or maybe you weren't aware of this, but they had a Rochas Man Intense years ago, kind of a limited edition type of deal, or they just discontinued it after not a lot of time, and now they re-released it. So this one here has cappuccino, has some balsam fir in here. There's some cedarwood, some lavender, very much focused on a coffee accord, more of a creamier style coffee, which smells fantastic. I love the original. I think it's great. It's affordable. The Intense didn't take all that long to hit discounters, and now it's pretty affordable as well. You're going to be looking at around $40 for this one as well, within that range. You can also get testers. And here's the interesting thing. The testers of these have to come with a cap. And the reason why is because, well, without a cap, this would not be able to stand up. You know, I mean, you really couldn't even safely or effectively lay it on its side because it would just roll around. So they have to come with a cap. The bottle might look ridiculous, but at least you can save a few bucks and get a tester and still have this exact presentation right here. The only difference is going to be the box. And so I always recommend that. Whenever you can get a tester with a cap, so long as you're saving money, do it. There is every now and then this weird phenomenon where there will be testers that are the same price or sometimes even $1 or $2 more expensive than the full presentation. And that scenario, definitely do not get it, but 99% of the time the testers will be cheaper. And again, if you can still get the full presentation like this, go for it. The scent is exactly the same. Everything is the same. It's still unused. I did a video talking about some mists like that and everything. So go that direction. That's one where you can save big with this one too. Next up, we have L'Homme Le Parfum. This is an easy one to overlook as well because there are so many other more popular scents within this line, and also the La Nuit de L'Homme line, to where you just don't really see a whole lot of love for this one. But I've been talking about it for a while. I really like it, and I didn't think I was going to, but turns out it's a super wearable, kind of just pleasant, uplifting scent. And I think the reason why I like it so much is because it essentially fuses together a couple of my personal favorites, and that is the original L'Homme and also YEDP. Kind of has the best of both worlds there. A little bit of a sweet, kind of ambery smell from YEDP, which is that modern style blue fragrance smell. There's some of that in here coming from like the amber wood that they're using in this scent, and even some of the ozonic notes, and a little bit of a fruity kind of apple. But then you also get, on that same token, some of that classic OG L'Homme, which also has a little bit of an apple note. But the difference is the original L'Homme is a gentleman's classic, and it smells very premium and just expensive smelling, right? Compared to YEDP, which does have more of a young, playful type of smell to it. So this combines the best of both worlds into something that you can get for around $80, $80, maybe $85. So this is cheaper than YEDP by probably, I don't know, $15, maybe $20 or so. And in terms of the original L'Homme, probably around the same price, maybe a tiny bit more. And so you can get two combined into one for essentially the price of one. That's a great way to go. I really like this stuff. It's definitely one worth checking out. Next up, we have Montblanc Explorer coming in at around, I don't know, I think it's $45 for 100 milliliters. Testers, I'm not too sure if they come with a cap or not, so you would have to double check on that. But yeah, under 50 bucks for this most of the time. Creed Aventus clone, easiest way to put it. And I think that's all that needs to be said if you didn't know that already. There's a lot of options out there, a ton of them. You could go for some from clone brands, or, you know, designer brands like this, and there are other designer brands as well that have cloned Aventus. It just depends on what you want to go after. And I always try to keep them in a rotation and give them relatively equal coverage, because I think most of them out there are really good. It's just a matter of making a decision and, you know, deciding which one you want to get. And at the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter a whole lot if you want to go between this or Armaf, Club de Nuit, Intense, you know, EDT, EDP, Parfum, whatever. you're probably going to be happy and get great results from whatever direction you go. So don't overthink it and get stressed out too much. This is one option of many. Don't sweat it. The idea is we're getting you into that Creed Aventus DNA for a fraction of the cost, and that's what this one does for under 50 bucks. Running down to the end, coming in at around the same price in the $40 range, Missoni Parfum has birch, grapefruit, getting some other woods going on in here as well. Gets compared to Bleu de Chanel, kind of in that similar vein, kind of a citrus, woody, aromatic. Sure, you can kind of say that that's kind of in the ballpark that this one falls. If I had to choose between this and Bleu de Chanel, I would pick Bleu de Chanel any day of the week. I like how that one smells better. It just is a better scent overall to me. However, you're not getting Bleu de Chanel for anywhere near 40 bucks. And that's the main thing. You just can't. You're not going to be able to get it at discounters either. This is one that is so reasonable, and there's really nothing to dislike about it. You can only compare it so much to other more expensive scents before it gets just, unfair and unrealistic. You can't start comparing quality and all this and that when you have that big of a price discrepancy. And so I think for the price, everything about this one holds up really well. If you have more money to spend, sure, there are better options, probably even some better options in this list, depending on what you're after. But regardless, if you do want something fresh, kind of Bleu de Chanel inspired for 40 bucks, this is great. This last one coming in at around $60. It is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. Great stuff. Has the amberwood, has the sea notes, some of that sea salt going on, some of that other citrus in here, the grapefruit. Smells fantastic. You guys know the scent DNA. Super popular, especially the EDT, but this one's better. Has better performance. It has a higher concentration, kind of going hand in hand there, but also just has more richness and flavor and impact and more of a scent profile overall compared to the EDT. So if you were to only want to get one, go for Eau Intense. And there are some other options out there as well, like Light Blue Forever and Italian Love. Those are great, but they're getting harder to find and going to be on the upper end of our $100 price cap here. So this one, you've got some room to spare, around $60, like I said. Definitely worth picking up. Great for summertime. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for me. Some fantastic scents that you can pick up for around $100 or less. Again, a lot of these kind of fell under $50. So definitely some room to work. Even if the prices move around a little bit, they're still going to be well below that price cap. These are great for the price, and I recommend them highly. Links to these will be down below to discounters, where I've been kind of referencing those prices from. Again, not retail, discounters. It's imperative so you can get these below 100 bucks. And again, less than a day left to get entered to win that fragrance bundle or $500 cash. Hit the first link down below, see what's included and how you can sign up. We'll be announcing the winner on that page. The link down below, the link will be at the top of that page once the winners are chosen, and all of that stuff. The winning ticket numbers will be on there along with their names as well. Our goal is to continue to build those up, make them bigger and bigger as we go, make them more interesting, more fun, and have the potential for maybe 3 winners each time or something like that. Do the bundle and then a couple other cash giveaways alongside of it. So make sure you get entered down below if you are interested before it's too late. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.